Laws of exponents. Consider this example. You have to multiply x square with x cube. Now x square just means you have two copies of x's, so you multiply x times x, and x cube means you have three copies of x's. So let's put them in parentheses like this. So when you expand it, what you notice is you have 5 copies of x's that you are multiplying together. So this should be x to the 5th power. So it looks like we have to add the exponents. It's not x to the 6th. It's not 2 times 3, but it's 2 plus 3. We will formalize that a little later. Let's look at one other example. This time, say you have x to the 7 divided by x to the 3. So in that case, you have 7 copies of x in the numerator. X, okay, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 3 in the denominator. And let's assume x is not 0, which means you can cancel these 3 x's with these 3. You're left with 4 copies of x's on top in the numerator. So now it looks like we could have gotten this answer by subtracting 7 minus 3, and exactly that's what's happening. You're removing 3 of the x's in the numerator because you have 3 down below. Now I want to talk about one more problem. X squared to the power 3. Notice that this is not same as the first example. It's not x squared times x cubed. This is x squared quantity cubed, which means I have x square, which I'm cubing, which means I want to see x square as one entity, which is being cubed. So you have 3 copies of x square. And now you notice that you would have 2 copies of x, 2 copies of x, 2 copies of x. So altogether you have 6 copies of x's. So this is telling us that if you have x square, x cube, then so if you have an exponent raised to another exponent, you multiply the exponents. So when you have multiplication of exponents with the same base, then you add the exponents. If it's division of exponents, then you subtract. But if you have exponent to an exponent, you multiply. So let's formalize this and write it as a rule. X to the m times x to the n is equal to x to the m plus n. And put it in a box to remind ourselves that that's the rule. And then if you have x to the m over x to the n, then this is going to be x to the m minus n. And if you have x to the m to the n is equal to x to the m n. So we'll cover more rules or more laws of exponents in another video.